No, but everything that happens in the movie is because of Charles Manson's story. It's usual what Tarantino does.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Is that recording?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay, cool. Welcome back to our 5th episode of the podcast, Everything from Nothing. There's loads of cameras now, I'm confused. This is our 5th episode of Everything from Nothing. We're going to introduce a guest, but I'm just going to go through a few things with the lads first.
Rules like it.
Actually, we're no more talking about the subject until we're after talking about everything about bees, but we'll now have more questions. But how was last week? We did we did the drum circle and stuff, and you sold sausages.
Yes, the drum circle was amazing.
Yeah,
I think it was fantastic.
It was great crack.
Yeah, it was good crack.
I got 8 blisters by the time I was finished.
Yeah, you did. You was on a reel and eating it. I think you should definitely.
I didn't get any Hive jackets or signs.
Yeah, that was
Hive jackets and signs.
Yeah, I left them at home.
The drum circle was incredible. Like the energy, the whole lot, the crowd around, people milling, stopping, clapping, looking, pointing.
You look like a man that was in uniform already. I didn't want to kind of take away from that. Like, use your own personal fucking apron.
Yes,
I was thinking like ruin it with a Hive is like that'd look horrible. Like, fucking. But Joe, I was thinking something the other day when like our bold statement of turning Thurles into a festival all year round. How about we turn Thurles into Hollywood? We do that.
Create a hill.
Ireland's answer to Hollywood is Thurles. And the Oktoberfest, we're doing an Oktoberfest on the 18th October. If anyone's looking for tickets, they're selling them in carry out for €10 and it's all in aid of North Tipperary Hospice. That's pretty much everything else. Gonna introduce our guest. This is our guest. This week's guest is a connoisseur of local beverages. He fucking loves bees, and in 2006 he was awarded a jar of parsley for informing Samuel L.Jackson that there was snakes on the plane. This is James O Dwyer. So basically he's a beekeeper. Do you want to explain what a beekeeper consists of?
No, you're doing quite well there yourself.
What does it consist of being a beekeeper? Like, what do you do?
You care for the bees, you look after the bees' welfare, and hopefully if the weather's good you produce a crop of honey.
Yeah.
Are the bees, are they in your house, or can you have a beehive, out in the country and you go and visit them?
You kind of have multiple apiary sites depending on the number of hives you have. Any apiary consists of between 10 and 12 hives. Depending on the location, you possibly wouldn't do more than that for fear of lack of forage.
And how often do you have to visit, how often do they need you to visit them?
Over the summer months, we'll say from May, June, July, particularly some parts of August maybe, maybe once a week or once every 10 days for fear that a queen could draw queen cells, which would be an attempt to swarm. If they swarmed then and you didn't have your queen clipped or wings clipped in March, she'd fly away and so would your whole crop of honey and the majority of bees.
And they swarm away to do what?
It's a form of reproduction.
They go off to try
they'll leave queen cells within the hive. They'll find a new location. They'll send out scout bees. They may go initially.
That's their cell division, like.
Well, they're reproducing. Like they now have a couple of queens. If it's a strong enough colony, they'll have what's known as caste swarms, where virgins will emerge and they'll take a few small swarms. So it won't be a prime swarm, won't be a large swarm of 30,000-40,000. It'll be 10, 5, 15 perhaps. But you can have multiple swarms in a year as well. So there's and some bees are actually more inclined.
Oh, wow, what's a swarm on average? 13,000.
It depends on the hive itself. The swarm, for lack of space, bees can be swarming. It can be a trait in them.
So they mount with
it's not a trait beekeepers look for now. It's as a
and that sounds threatening. They're swarming. What do you do? How can you stop them swarming? Once they swarm,
if they're swarming, they're full fed.
That's correct. Whilst they're swarming, their honey bellies will be full of honey, which makes it quite difficult for them to bend their thorax to get their stinger out, and they're very unlikely to sting in a swarm. Even though if you saw a swarm in the street now in mid-July, it's like the hum is deafening. It's horrifying. If you didn't want to be a beekeeper, it's absolutely horrifying. It's force of nature.
Was there a video of downtown Limerick or something? Was there something swarming? Did you see that?
There was a couple of them. The bees that swarm anywhere, especially around human places, children's playgrounds, things like that. So initially during the swarm, they're very unlikely to sting. Not very aggressive at all. Even I caught once or two of them, ultra spice of caught swarms without any protective gear on. I got 1 or 2 stings, but considering there was 34,000 there.
What do you mean catching?
So you bring an empty box with frames in it. You obviously know there's a queen there. It'd be very
That's what
unlikely.
you're looking for.
Yeah, well, needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Proverbial needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Unless you have her marked and clipped. And if marked and clipped, she'd be on the ground near the hive because she can't fly. That's why you stop the swarm. That's a swarming control method.
Okay, right.
If you clip the queen's wings, they'll try and like
They'll be hanging around her.
they'll urge the swarm. They'll go 20, 30 yards away, realise she's not there, and probably find her somewhere on the ground. Or maybe she could fly 10 feet away, but you won't go any further than that. So if you're on hand or in the area, if you've been alerted to it, you can come out, pick them up, take them away, look into your other hive, see how they're doing, leave 1 or 2 queen cells, whichever one you want. Depending on the strength of the colony, you could maybe leave 1. I've often left 2 and just swarm a second time, which is very unlikely, but it can happen. You normally, if you left 1, she'll come out, get mated, in a couple of days' time. Then when that virgin gets mated, comes back, she'll start laying up and take over the old queen left off. So basically, you've doubled your stock.
So if you meet a swarm swarming around in the sky, you hear this home. What would you do? Like, what would
you call me?
You run indoors, shut the windows. Like, what, you know, should you be scared?
You shouldn't. No. They're far less likely to see in a scenario like that. You'd be more likely to get stung walking down the road by a bee.
And you're more likely at the end of the year as well when they're dying off. Is that a rumour? Is that?
No, the bees wouldn't die off at all. There are aggressive bees out there. There are strains that are. I've had hives that are ever so slightly more aggressive than others. Weather temperatures. If it's very clammy, they don't like being inspected. You open the room, you go down to the hive, through the frame, you see if everything's alright. You know by the frequency of the hum and the pitch of the hum.
Oh wow.
So sometimes they're...
You'll know by then.
I
wouldn't know.
Jesus, sounds lovely.
If I didn't want you there, you'd know too.
Okay.
I wouldn't be the hum, it'd be the stings.
And is the hum just the wings going, or are they hum like is some other noise going on?
What's amazing, they can work
it's
in
just
unison.
created by the wings. You know?
I think the frequency of the wings, like
So they're flapping harder when they're angry.
they also emit pheromones from what's known as the Nazarov gland, which is just above their anus, we'd say. They emit pheromones from that and fan it with their wings to alert other bees whether there's danger present. If you try to swipe one bee and he releases that, you'll have 1,000 of them there at you.
Whoa.
Immediately like that. Their peripheral vision is, I think, is 6 times quicker than ours. So if you brought a bee with you at the cinema,
They didn't know the end of it. It's a spoiler for you.
That's a slideshot. They see it all in stills because their peripheral vision is so quick. They see it all in stills. You know?
Oh.
Yeah. But that's why you should never swipe a bee. It's like trying to punch Muhammad Ali with 10 pints in it. He laugh at you and jab you back.
So you nearly always miss
That's a good way to explain it. It's like punching Muhammad Ali with 10 pints in your head. That's the best fucking thing I've ever heard.
But yeah, when they're swarming like that, it is a reproductive trait. So yeah, if you've even seen a swarm, call your local association, wherever that may be. We're North Tips here in Tipperary. You have South Tipperary Beekeepers up in Leash. I think a couple of them, they've done amazingly. But there's plenty of so I don't know.
Where's the biggest in Ireland? The biggest like farm or whatever you call it?
The biggest association?
What? Yeah.
I don't mean to blow our own trumpet, but North Tips, there's a couple of lads there that are geniuses. You've got Jim Ryan up the road there. I mean, he's the honorary librarian of the Beekeeper Association of Ireland. You know, that's not a case of collecting.
So Tip is the best at bees as well as everything else.
South Tips will be slightly, I'd probably be hung for saying this now.
Oh.
South Tips are, well, Clonmel is valued honey. That's what I like.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. They win.
They exceptionally go down there. They have a little microclimate down there, which is amazing. They'll get larger crops of honey. Well, most times than it goes up here. We actually do quite better than most of the coastal counties. Because we're sheltered by all the mountain range. We have the hills there, the silver mines, down to the Galties and Meadens, Sheedaman. So
it's all around.
So
the winds are a bit calmer.
That's right.
Is that what it is? All right.
We kind of microclimate in that sense, but Clonmel is the best. Like, I mean, they have orchards down there, the boomers down there.
Yeah. Fuck. That would make sense.
Very good beekeepers on Waterford, Danish beekeepers. I think we have 1 or 2 associations down there. Probably one of the cities because it's a big enough county, or it's a large enough area.
Yeah.
But, I know the associations are the way to go. If any of you're interested, lads, they'll be doing beginners course.
How did you get into it? Like, how long have you been doing Irish now?
5 years now, yeah.
Is that in particular? Did you just find
that there?
Is this your? Yeah, I was going to ask. Like, so this is your honey.
That's correct.
James brought us in his honey.
Well, it's the bees man, I didn't.
Reflected door.
He's like the delivery driver.
You're great as well, James.
You're like the delivery driver.
He knows the bees.
Did you make the? Is this your own box?
No, you can buy those boxes. You buy them. They're cardboard.
We went.
Sorry, hang on.
No, we went to
Was it
Bloom, I think, or something, you know, an event like that, and they have a good setup because you know they've
that's
tents and
the June back on the weekend up the National Gardens.
Yeah.
Botanic Gardens from up there.
Yeah.
I've never had it now, but a lot of my friends.
I think when you know General Joe Soap goes in and sees, that, you know, it is kind of inspiring.
Absolutely.
You know, you see them going around and you see all the kind of kit, like.
Yeah.
You know, you get into the mind of it.
You know, of course. The bees, like, sense of smell is so great that like some of the hives now for a good form I wouldn't wear gloves because I wouldn't need to. I wouldn't have chemicals written on my hands or deodorant or you know. They get used to the smell. If you always have gentle hands, don't start banging. And it's subtle. Just consider diffusing the bomb. You know, you can't start banging it or rattling it. Be very gentle, subtle. But once you do that, and the bees won't bother you. You won't bother them. If you start hitting things or knocking things, you'll hear them hum and.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been stung.
I have.
Have you?
Years ago. I don't remember what I was.
We can arrange that for the next podcast.
And James is just going to put the bee out of that, put the stinger into it.
Yeah, that'd be.
It show how
I was
rare.
half expecting you to come up with these actually.
I use fixation on the ground.
It's show how rare it is to be stung.
Content.
You talk to most people, they're like, most people will say they either haven't been stung or it was so long ago.
The other side of it is, many people have been
Stung
stung by
by
wasps, and I go, were you stung by a wasp or a bee? He goes, I don't know, it's one of the things that are flying. And it's like, yeah, you really narrowed down the search for me there.
It was an airplane. Superman. Stung by Superman.
So I wouldn't really put clarity on it, but most people have been stung by wasps, very unlikely to be stung by bees.
That shit's amazing. Like
It's
these
like
make
just chop the part off.
That's just a cut comb, honey.
Put it into the dog.
these. That's what these make. Like I don't know. These are
I just been away
The shapes are just bonkers.
when you're at
like real like pomegranate or something.
when you're out of any art, you know, I don't know what's the word. Hive,
It
whatever it
was
was.
a polystyrene cedar hive observation.
Yeah. I've never really seen beehives up closer. You know, the first time I properly seen one in real life.
You'd be awestruck, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
How did yeah.
So what that kind of shape? Where that's obviously one issue of strong shapes. Strong what way? Strong pressing it like down or strong pressing it across, or is it like tensile or what?
The frame itself actually, when it's in a super, the brood frames are quite larger. The other frames are that size, so you get a couple of sections like that out of it. You can do that size. There's definitely a blackberry in it. There could be some other things you can tell me.
Are you consuming the whole lot or are you spitting something out?
The whole lot of it. It's only wax. Wax is totally perfect for the doing no harm. I don't think there's any nutritional value to it, but there's actually no harm whatsoever in it. A lot of the elderly people don't like it because it gets stuck in the false teeth.
Oh yeah, okay.
Whoa, that's fucking. That's an experience.
We'll have to edit that out.
No, it's good. Like
It's lovely, yeah.
No, I mean it's fucking an experience. And I'm not saying that.
I don't like when
The critic here. I want to see what he thinks. He like honey anyway.
Steve is self-professed honey hater.
That's completely different to like.
It doesn't taste like honey. I've never had honey like this before. It's nicer. Like, whoa.
I'm enjoying the fact that there's something to chew after the fact.
So do I. It's how it should be. I mean, the other stuff, you can see the centre there, there's a wax foundation. The other
That's
stuff,
mad.
you have wire in it. You cap it either side. You cap this with a knife, the other side, put it into an extractor and spin it with a centrifuge. The cause behind the spin and the extractor going down through sieve into another sieve and you can bottle it, whatever. It's a timely, kind of annoying experience. You have to do it as well, like have jars at home, but this is far more simpler, far less hassle. You basically come along and slice it out, recycle what you're left over and sell it as
And you
is.
don't think there's any nutritional value in the wax?
It's certainly no harm to it. Certainly no harm whatsoever. I mean,
It's nice to chew. It's better than chewing gum.
Yeah, it's very, you know.
It's like chewing gum.
That's right. I use the very same way I've been on in or
Instead of chewing gum or something.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I've made soap out, but I haven't made candles yet.
Candles.
Well, you can make scented candles and so forth, but a lot of the time the wax you get it back to the manufacturers and make the frames and stuff because
You swallow it.
Yeah. Wait, why did you say not? You're gonna start seeing wasps everywhere.
They're trying to get into my mouth.
Funny you say that actually, but there's bees that live in the Himalayas, and there's a rhododendron plant, not the one we have here, but it grows.
What plant, sorry?
Rhododendron.
No, what that's what I saw.
They have them here, but it's not the same one. It's different species.
Is that the oak that's invasive in Highlands or whatever?
all over the bee, don't they?
No, that's heather you're thinking of. This rhododendron, it grows solely in cliff face. Well, the hives are these bees. They're not stingless bees. They're actually quite large. They're about that size, we say, only 2.5 inches. but they live on the side of the cliff faces. This is where they nest, the hives. And you'll see Tibetan lads going down the row. But without any protective gear on at all. Now I know that no soap, no stingers, but I mean, we do hang off a cliff on the side of different layers for a bit of honey. But the honey that comes out of the rhododendron that they produce up there is psychedelic honey.
No way.
Yeah.
That's is that why the boys are up there?
Well,
they're risking their lives like for a good night out now.
It's solely for the local market up there amongst themselves, and they don't like selling it to foreigners or exporting.
Yeah, they don't treat that stuff as kind of party, you know, that's their ritual and stuff.
Absolutely, you know, so
culture.
Yeah,
it's like prayer.
They wouldn't wash it down with 10 pints on Friday
night. No, a festival or something.
As so happens, but
yeah.
No, yeah.
So we're making candles.
So yeah.
Or what is it?
It'd be organic soap. I've made a couple of those at the festival. Actually, sold quite well. There's another thing as well. Actually, years ago, before the lunchboxes were invented, or stainless steel or plastic.
Yeah.
You'd have your lunch, but you used to have kind of a parchment paper, not quite like this. It's only a cloth, more so of a cloth. But you heat and wax put into it, and you put your sandwiches and stuff over, and you wrap it up and tighten it. It was basically as good as anything. It kept moisture out.
We bought them recently.
That's
like
right. That's right.
Eco fairs.
That's right. There's a woman down in West Cork doing them. She's actually looking for wax now. I might sell some to her because she's a great business incentive. It's a great idea. It's taken off, but that's how it was years ago. People would work on the side of a train track, whatever. Once it was tied up and sealed, you could have roads running around nearby. It was sealed. It was perfect. Yeah, it was great sanitizer basically. Nowadays we would take things like that for granted. We use disposable plastics. You know,
that's mad.
Yeah.
But once you start using those things again, you just realise.
It is going back.
It is. It's slowly but surely people are starting to catch on. And
With the candles, actually, I was going to ask. What was I going to ask? Oh yeah, I was going to ask. Would you reckon the first ever candles were made with beeswax? You were saying, like, is that where you reckon they like got the stuff together and realised they could keep a bit of flame going longer? Like what?
Well, it's the wicker inside the candle that dictates the length of burning range, doesn't it? The thickness of the wicker.
Is it? But isn't that but the wax being there is what like stops it from just burning down?
It does, but if you had a...
The wax is the fuel, no?
I think the wax is there.
The wicker burns. The wicker be kind of... It's flammable anyway, it's slow burning, but depending on how thick, as you said, how thick the wax is slows the rate of burn, but it also depends on the thickness of the wick.
So, okay. But, so do you reckon beeswax was probably the first they made of it then? Like what is candle wax made of?
It would have been animal fats as well, would it?
No, that'd be more so fuel. That actually they use that because of animal fats boil at higher temperatures than water.
Like a lamp or something.
They used to use animal fats for a lot of things. Even the Hubble's telescope up there actually still operated on whale oil. That's so fine. So fine.
That's just like how I remember a few years ago the Guinness had to change. The Guinness changed the way it was made because the filtration process involved some like fish or something, and it was like technically it wasn't vegetarian or vegan or whatever. So they were just like, yeah, we probably shouldn't be using nowadays. We shouldn't be using the fish to filter like something we're selling to people. Like.
No wonder the taste. Everyone's giving out the taste is gone now. Like it tastes the same.
No, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something to do with the fish. It was a really odd filtration.
Yeah, there was all those rumours about like Guinness getting their taste from rats running around the barrels and all that shit. Did you ever hear about all that? There were all these mad rumours about Guinness.
They overcooked the hops or something.
Oh no,
that's it.
It is like it's just these old Irish rumours. Like over in Ireland, their biggest beer is with rats running around in old wooden barrels that they took for pirate ships.
That's why you don't want to try not to sell the foreigners for keep it here.
Like Kerrygold, we were down in Kerry there, me and one of the lads were camping down there and we were walking by. Do you know those guys in horse and cars that just bullshit the Americans? Telling the biggest lies. Like we were walking by and he pointed into the cows in the field, there's like 3 of them, points in and says to the 2 Americans, that's where, he said, all the Kerrygold in the world comes from them 2 cows. What he said, we were like, what? And like Kerrygold's like the biggest butter in the world.
You're looking at the field, he's pointing full of sheep. And the Americans have become forecast with
White Gypsy actually. You made a beer with them. You made White Gypsy are local.
Once again, this had to do with collaborations. I was getting 25 kilos of honey. It was mixed honey. There was ivy there. There was summer honey and spring honey. But just barely got by the skin of my teeth. And they made a harvest ale out of it. It was red ale. It was actually quite nice. Unfortunately, it was only limited edition.
I think I tried it one time. Yeah, it was actually lovely. Like,
but mead would be the drink, is it? Is that the honey?
Yeah, that's correct. Mead would be the drink.
So you can't get that. That's just like the monks used to make.
You can make it. You can use demi-john to make it.
And that's probably simple enough.
It's time consuming, that's all it is. Not preparation or anything like that, it's letting it age for a couple of months or whatever amount of time you have to for the alcohol take home, which would be what my CD inside of the fermentation process take place like.
But it's alcoholic, it's,
I haven't made it now, a couple of my friends have. I will do it next year, just haven't got around to it. They're telling me it's tricky enough to get the taste quite right and get the alcohol level. You know yourself from any of the brewers will tell you it's tricky enough to get the alcohol levels. It's better to be overly strong than too weak. That's my own preference.
As long as it's not overly strong, it's the point to go blind.
Look, we're gonna go blind eventually anyway.
Just like 2 eyes.
I love the irony of the response to that being sure look.
What do you think? Do you know the whole suppose bees going extinct and all that? How what's your opinion on people taking dandelions or weeds?
Oh, that's the worst. I don't know why it is in the Western world that we see dandelions as a weed.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy.
And not just dandelions, so like a lot of flowers.
Irish, I really dislike when people call them plants weeds.
The dandelion in particular. What you call it? I know a lot of people use it for health benefits. The juice and the stem, and use roots. Actually, would you believe it? A friend of mine made me dandelion wine about a year ago.
Dandelion what?
Dandelion wine.
Wow.
I don't know how long it's a white wine. I wouldn't be a fan of white because it's more red, but my God, it was the nicest white wine I drank in my life. Absolutely, yeah. I'm still on to him. He's quite busy now. He's doing outdoor adventures down Kerry and that, so he hasn't really got around to it, but unbelievable. It was the nicest white wine I've ever drank. And as clean as hell.
I can't think of any of them now, but there's massive health benefits from dandelions. There's liver one of them?
It would be, yeah. But it's amazing that a little plant will say that is so beneficial both for the bees, for kind of human consumption even, for all sorts, that we go wage war on it with glyphosate.
It's mad. I think it is going the other way.
It's not profitable, I suppose. It's like
the threat. That's going to cure you or something that's going to cost them money.
But that was just kind of like the Irish garden, like the wild gardening was like Ireland's way of gardening a long time ago. But then whatever other cultures came over and said, oh, the gardens should be really neat, and they should be all in the line, and all this. I do think it's starting to go the other way where people are starting to see the kind of beauty in fucking flowers going everywhere rather than patterns.
Well, the small gardens you get away with it somewhat. The problem was the meadows are gone. The meadows are the majority of them are gone. I think there was 19 species of grass a century ago. I don't think there's even half that now. The farmers use now is a ryegrass. So it's intensive ryegrass, which means you can plant it for silage, hit it with the manure, hit it with the water, the rain, it will grow like mad.
And they're the ones that look super green, toxic green.
That's where they're capital grass, but the meadows are gone because they reckon it belched to something, but it upset the cows or whatever because there was whatever herbs in it, but it's untrue. The cattle using them, are they using now? They're using the limousines, the Belgian blues, I think the Frisians, thank you very much. Yeah. They're using the Frisians now, which they're not even native. You have Dramines, you have Dexters, which are smaller cows that produce about half the amount of milk, but there's a far higher cream content in the milk. No. You can't put them in real good land because they'll fatten wrong. If you throw them into the bog or top of the hill, they'll bulk on that. Their ministers are hardship, they need hardship to try.
That's so interesting. Is there any other? I've never heard of a species
because all those meadows are gone. The bees are foraging on that. There's far more clover. There's red clover, white clover. There's buckalon. There's all sorts of things there all year round from. And with them gone now, they have farther to go. The hedgerows are really another huge source of food and habitat for many pollinators, but most of the bees, the whitethorn, blackthorn, bramble, everything in clover, everything in there. And a lot of the farmers now do the 2 or 3 fields there. They take them out and make one big field. The Brits done that back in the 50s and realised they were getting less crop than they calculate what they'd get. The reason was because the soil was getting the nutrients from the hedgerows because there was habitat in there was bumblebees in there was wasps, there was all sorts of flies, there was mouses, rats, hedgehogs. There was a whole ecosystem there. And that in turn was giving nutrients back to the surrounding land. Well, it was a couple feet out.
It wasn't the simple sum that they wanted, like
absolutely
bigger, better.
That's mad.
It's more nuanced.
You look at yourself. Some of the psychedelic mushrooms in Ireland, the lipton caps, for example, they grow just outside the hedgerow.
There's a big. We cut a tree. We were in the back of my garden, and a couple of years ago, and
we'll have to cut that out. Sorry.
There was loads of mushrooms there now in the sort of this room radius from the trunk from the stump.
Did they came from the trunk?
Well, I presume that they're coming up from the roots, you know.
Because I've seen watching around River Cottage, we did something similar. He got an old tree trunk. I think this is how the mushrooms. So I found an old trunk like this. We'd say 6 foot.
Yeah.
So hole here, hole here, hole here, hole here. Now we injected them with spore solution or whatever mushrooms you would, I know, or the shiitake or the oyster mushrooms, whatever they are.
And seeded it, like.
Well, it's an injection form. You inject them there and it'll colonise and then it'll inoculate, then it'll form. Just threw it back into the kind of a drain inside the house, came back a couple of days later.
With a drill of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What was I reading? I don't know, like, maybe just reading, but it said something that, like, for an oak tree to grow to its full potential needs to be surrounded at one stage throughout its life by, or before a certain age, by at least 200 different types of mushroom fungus to grow to its like full, like fuck off size.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, mushrooms are extremely important. I mean, you can imagine what to do for the soil. As Irish people in particular, we don't eat enough mushrooms in this country at all. People go to any European market, especially the Far East, the Asian markets. There's the amount of mushrooms there. I mean, you could live with mushrooms alone.
There are different types.
The Irish style is funny. It's like we're afraid of mushrooms. We're kind of afraid of fish.
Yeah.
We're kind of afraid. I got that.
We're afraid of thriving. What was the name of that cow you were just saying that doesn't like thriving? Or that needs hardship to thrive.
Dexter.
That's what I was saying. So I think there's only 2 species that need hardship to thrive. It's that cow and Irish people, like 100%. So they're probably just like, oh, they're gonna try it new. Like it's like, I don't really like that. We're all like that.
How does an island of people not like fish though? So it's natural. So
the thing is, Chinese eat something like 19 kilos per person per year of fish. I think the Irish only 4 or 5, if even, like, you know. Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
most of that's probably
most of them are landlocked. You know, they're going to even the cost.
They're nowhere near the bloody
You could sell them cheese, but no, the difference in that and fish, like, they're landlocked. You know, they're thousands of miles, it's so high in their diet. Have you seen the thing?
It's because of the cow. That's it. That's why we're kind of like. It's because of the cow. That's why we're
the cow.
Yeah, we're kind of.
Spuds.
You know, we have a mono diet, like.
That's it, like.
The cow's other.
Yeah.
And just the other side of it was we were kept out of the Spice Trail when we were part of the Commonwealth or the Empire, I should say. The likes of the Dutch East Indies, the French, the Spanish, they all went around the world and came back with spices trades. And I mean, the Dutch East Indies company was the Dutch, and they were coming back from the Indonesia, the likes with all these new lovely little spices, herbs, aromas. Yeah, selling them on the market. But Ireland at that time was, wasn't even an outpost of the continent, the British Empire, that's all it was. So there's unless you were some lord or in the manor house, even at that, you had to be exceptional to be able to get these, like, we weren't on the trail, there was no reason to be sent over here. They're going to London or
Well, yeah, that would explain why a lot of Irish kind of traditional foods are more bland taste.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Generally salt and pepper, no more spices like traditional Irish food.
Yeah.
It's also like it's like there's bad and good sides of that kind of lifestyle. I also appreciate that kind of like the fuck I'm grand with what I have thing. Can come across as either bad, but like it's also like, it's also a good life. There's good elements of that as well. Like I'm happy with what I have. Like it's also, it could be holding us back, but like I don't know, if you're happy with eating, if it's just spuds.
Yeah, but I think there was a huge amount of diversity in what they did with the milk as well, you know.
Absolutely.
Here's fresh milk, here's slightly rotten milk, here's more rotten milk, here's more lumpy milk, here's a kind of solid, really gone off milk, here's,
here's butter.
and they were all like valid foods, do you know that?
I saw a thing on Twitter today actually where someone they were like pure shocked at, like, they looked up about blue cheese and it was like they found out that all the stuff on it was mold and they were like, oh my god, people are eating mold, and everyone replying was like, do you not know what cheese is?
Yeah. That's grass. Yeah, that's bad. Like,
it's very specifically gone off milk.
Listen, yeah, you're one.
So as a beekeeper and a honey person, like, can you buy this? Can I buy that?
You could. I have a limited supply. You have to know the right people, I suppose.
So it's kind of like, you buy it personally off Beekeeper. No, it doesn't retail.
They do retail something similar down the health food shop, but it's Healy's of Cork. And if you look at 3 generations of Irish beekeepers, and you look at the back, it says product is from Hungary or Romania, I believe. So.
Right.
So it's
would you given the kind of, I don't know what the word is, like not infrastructure, but like the kind of, I don't know, funding or whatever, like would it be kind of, if you were able to live out, like, do you know, it'd be cool like if everyone in the town was buying honey off you. Like if you could get to that stage.
Absolutely, but the thing about Irish honey or Irish organic honey in more particular, you will never supply demand. 5,000 hives would supply demand. You cannot supply demand.
Right.
You saying demand as it is in the retail, like the numbers that are there now.
That can be bought. If you had 3 tons, I know lads that are producing 3 tons, they're nearly selling out by the end of the next start season. Like.
So you really need a big fucking.
That's good. It's good. Like that's good business. No, if you're waiting for it to build up to those levels.
But I do think.
I do like with beekeepers. Is it a business? Or is it like, do you know?
For the majority of us, a hobby. I mean, you're not getting a wage for it as such. You have to love doing what you're doing. Like you wouldn't do it for any other reason.
Some money back on the.
I mean, be it all any honest beekeeper, I think is for the love of the bee. There's some years like some hives might produce again. A bad summer, it might produce. What do you do? Sack them. I mean, you know. If they got, whatever little bit of honey they got in a bad summer will be left to them. That's theirs. I know beekeepers now that would. They take the worm from a blind bird. So what and you can't feed them, you can't supplement them over the winter, but it's theirs. I get my cut from it. The honey is theirs, and if you look after nature that way, and you're not totally greedy with it, and don't fuck it over, you'll always get nature's bounty. When you start trying to get every little penny out of it, then you realise you're screwed.
How old is the oldest bee in the hive?
Funny you say that.
Is it 1 year, or is this a 5-year-old?
The oldest bee, well, the majority of the hive would be the queen. She can live anywhere between 2 and 3 years. Some of them maybe 4, 5. But they're not doing that as much anymore. They're only going to 1 or 2 years. It's just an evolution, I suppose. They're getting out quicker, faster, breeding quicker, getting 2 good years, and they're being superseded. Years ago it was later, but I have a queen there that's 3 years old. So. But no, the bees themselves in the summertime, they live for only 2 weeks or 6 weeks, I beg your pardon. They emerge when the egg hatches on day 21 anyway. They emerge. For the first 2 weeks they're a nurse bee, which means they walk around the cell, cleaning up the cell, feeding other bees that are emerging, you know, and cleaning out cells for the queen to lay, doing basic housekeeping duties. The next week or 2 after that, then they'll upgrade to undertaker duties, which is removing dead bees from the hive. When a bee dies or whatever in the hive, that'll be taken away and flown off. It's a bee's way of stopping the spread of disease and keeping away predators.
So they grab them and fly away?
Oh, they fly about 20 yards and you see, further even, then you see them get dropped off.
Pop into bows for kind of body pints and then...
I've never had a way, but you can organise one.
I wouldn't be surprised with them though if they're probably having a proper, like, do you know...
well actually, it's funny you say that actually. There is an old custom called telling to the bees. Now there's an American version, the English version, the Irish version, I'm sure there's the German one as well. Basically, if there was a death in the family or a death that the bees should know about, or their beekeeper died, you have to tell the bees to go over and knock and tell them.
Wow, is this like a Breton law?
Yeah, it's possibly after that. It's not quite the Breton law, but it is quite old because even though it's similar to some context, there's different stories from different. The Americans have one, I mean the British have one, and there's the European one. Right. So the old custom is if bees, some of the old bees owner died, you have to tell them, you have to knock and sit from a couple of feet in the hive and explain to them. If you didn't do it, it was very bad luck. You wouldn't get a crop of honey the next year, they'd swarm and you get stung. And that was the custom of telling the bees. There was actually a couple of instances where bees turned up at beekeepers' kennels. Swarm into the kennel, yeah.
That is mad.
I think there was a case.
Sure, like as you were saying, they recognise people's faces. Like, so like to say that a bee wouldn't have an attachment is kind of mad. Like, what? One of the Breton law, I was asking that because I read something a while back. Breton law.
Beach Braha. The bee law, the Breton law, the bee.
Is that why it's called Breton law?
No, but Breton law, Beach Braha is the Beach is brie, Beach is bees.
That was even I didn't even know that. That was why I was going to. So that's going to make sense.
Of the Breton laws, there's a section
for bees. Because one of them was that if you own a beehive, so if you own a beehive and you walk and your neighbour walks by the beehive and you get stung by a bee, and in return that the neighbour doesn't attack the bee or kill the bee, that you, or Joe, get mad at it, that in turn that you would have to give them a jar of honey. And it all is equal.
A jar, but it would have been, farm compensation.
Yeah.
The honey, the same
That's
thing.
cool, like.
Said, I was living next to your town or whatever, and you had heather growing your property, my bees were getting a good crop of honey off your heather. There was another compensation set out for that. That was actually it's funny enough actually. If you go back to the Brand laws, it's far more just the laws today.
It worked.
Women could divorce fellas even back then. Women had there were sections, there was classes to society. You could marry below or above, or you know there was king, the clan chief at the top and slave at the bottom. But there was a thing also as well actually. It was funny enough we're talking about it. It's not really the weekend actually. The College of Truth. The two parties were in denial or lying against him. One of them was lying, you know, and there was a poor judge. And the judge said, "Bring out the cauldron of truth." With a cauldron and boiling water and animal juices. And both had to put their hands in. Whoever could hold it the longest was the forebearer of truth.
Oh, so that's what the Irish, like, that's how kings settled shit in Ireland, was like, but again, I can't remember the story to why, do you know the Ulster Red Hand? There's some mad story anyway about, I can't remember what it was, but they would settle like stuff with, do you know, how they'd settle wars would be like arm wrestles or games of chess and shit like this, or, you know, maybe not arm wrestles, but games of chess.
Just boil it
but
down.
you know, so rather than bringing everyone to war,
Jews,
it was like, let's have a staring competition. Nobody needs to die. Like.
There's some place, I can't remember what Ireland now, it was definitely somewhere in Europe years ago, where the place, their symbol ended up being like a hand, because people had to, like, there was like a race, they had to race each other to figure out who was going to be like the next king or something.
Yeah.
And one of the people like managed to remove their hand while doing the thing and like fucking forward so that they.
Is that the way Red Hand?
I'm not sure if that's the
like
Red Hand. I know that it's somewhere, but where it is.
Yeah, that sounds familiar as well. Like.
It mightn't be the Red Hand Ulster, but it's definitely somewhere anyway.
They had prosthetics back then.
We somehow removed his hand. But Irish stories, you never know if it happened or not. Like,
Hurley's an extension of the hand, so fire Hurley up.
It's like the story of, did you ever hear, do you know Brian Brew? Brian Brew was in his old, he was during his old age, like, and there was some ceremony going on, and apparently St. Patrick was doing the ceremony, like he was the priest for or whatever, and like Brian Brew was, you know, it was like an honour for St. Patrick to come down and do it for him.
Don't think St. Patrick could have been there. St. Patrick died in 1560s and Brian started Clontarf.
Maybe it wasn't Brian Brew, so. Because it was some king though anyway that was like, thankful that he came down to done it and had like it wasn't the king was old, St. Patrick was old. St. Patrick was really old and he was initiating the king. And he stuck the staff into the king's foot by mistake, but the king thought like, no, he'd never get anything wrong. He was supposed to do that, so he didn't react. But apparently St. Patrick, when he did it was like old age mistake. Like, but that's just funny, simple Irish stories like that. You know, it doesn't have to be like this fucking profound like Greek gods fighting in the sky. It's like our priests were stupid. Like.
Actually, funny enough, many from the old tales of ancient Greek actually correlated to Celtic mythology.
Yeah. They all kind of similar.
The same demigods, and a lot of similar stories.
Same structures, or same. They all have same. All the characters kind of have the same characteristics.
That's right. Yeah. The hero, the villain, and the moral of the story.
Yeah. Wow, life. Do you have fact for today, Stevie?
It's slightly
fact of the week.
Related. So the largest living thing in the world. Have you any idea? Any guess on what it'd be?
The Earth.
Well, no, like the largest, like as in like one. It's one single.
It's not to be one of the redwoods, I guess, no.
No.
Oh no, you're right. It's this that jellyfish, is it? That giant thing in the ocean, no?
It's 2,200 acres in size, and it's honey mushroom in Oregon. They had originally thought it was like separate.
Whoa. It goes underground, right?
It goes underground, and it covers 2,200 acres.
All my seeds in
Wow.
Texas.
A single organism, like. So
That's
it was bad, like when you were talking about mushrooms earlier, and it was like, it actually fits in better than the
Yeah.
It's actually funny as well. There's certain actually mushrooms out there I was speaking about earlier. There's all the shiitake. There's what's the one there? The Chinese. There's Ling Liu or Ling Mi. Different names for it. But if they grow wild, you actually see bees forage on them. And there's a parasite, the broad structure might feeds on the bee, like the rhino fuckers that came in about 20 years ago. So the Irish bees and black bees in Ireland didn't have defences to them because they weren't introduced and didn't have it evolved with them. So they're wiping out colonies good old, but this mushroom, any particular mushroom, seems the mice don't like it at all, and it actually kills the DWV, the form of virus. Very interesting. But I gave it from supplements now and quite well. But I also.
So this mushroom has a cure for the.
It's for humans. Well, it's not for humans. Typical. Cows are for humans. Meat is for humans. Everything's for humans, of course. Like we own everything. But if the mushroom was grown wild in itself, the bees go for themselves. There's no. You know, I mean, all the old guys, the head guys in the Beekeeping Association, will tell you, the bees know best. You know, don't think you know best, the bees know best.
Yeah.
And if you try something and it didn't work, the bees didn't read that book, James.
That's very good. I was going to ask you as well, I seen you comment on an article there about, I wasn't too sure if I was getting what the article was saying wrong, but was the article basically saying that hives weren't a good thing?
Basically, the headline of the article was keeping bees in hives to support their decline. The decline is the equivalent of keeping chickens in farms to support the bird population.
Which, I read your comment and yours kind of made sense. I read some of the article, I didn't read it all properly because I got confused and I was like, I just felt like the article was trying to say two things, was for and against it. But like, if you want to explain, like, 'cause I do agree that hives are...
Basically, as an intermediate this year, the headlines are saying feral colonies and wild colonies have a 20% chance of survival. That's all, 20%, I mean, that's pretty fucking low. I know there's foul brews out there, there's varroa, I mean, there's, So I mean, that's 20%. A competent beekeeper, on average, loses 20%. We survive. 80% of our stock will survive, and a good, like last year, you lose nothing. The year before, you lose a bit more because of the harder winter. But and a good winter, a good season, you lose nothing. You shouldn't anyway. But
so the chances,
on average, you lose about 20% of your stock over the winter. In the wild, they have a 20% chance of survival. So I mean, in 5 years, if there was
someone working with it and tending to the hive gives it an extra 60% chance.
Absolutely, a common beekeeper. If you see something wrong with the hive, it needs to be treated, or it needs some sort of identification. If there's stock bees, I can take frames of other hives and give it to other bees, put numbers down to help them out. If I thought they're queenless, I give them someone as a test frame, eggs, and they'll draw a queen cell from it. I mean, you're looking after the bees, of course. Like,
would there be competition with the fees for the forage? Is that?
They were saying that, but no. The wild colonies collapsed in the last 20 years because of the broad structure, Mike. They weren't designed for it. Now, Danish beekeepers, there is traits, these hygienic traits are called, they'll actually attack the mite in their backs and they'll see it because they'll be missing legs and be bitten off. Danish beekeepers was 2 years ago bred that specific strain of bee, like that specific trait within the bee, and released loads of stocks into the wild. The thing was quite admirable and quite good, and they're telling us about it. But we're not going to tell you where to let them off because you just come out and catch them. You know, your beekeepers, you're going to. And he says, and we're monitoring them. We let them off in the woods in certain areas, and we're seeing if it'll improve the overall survival rate in the wild. But no, there's plenty of forage around. There is, like, I mean, there's only 3,500 left, 4,000 beekeepers less in Ireland. That's less than general practitioners.
That's mad. It's weird. That kind of sums it all up. Like.
So the hedgerows, if farmers look after the hedgerows, the ditches. The ditches are vital important. So I understand that on a roadway, health and safety comes first vehicles. But inland, where it's on, it should be protected, like, because the birds nesting there, the curlew.
Ladies well. I remember ladies well, like as a teenager. I suppose it's 10 years ago, but it was not nicely covered in, wasn't it?
You're nearly walking in a tunnel up the hedgerows.
So it had this kind of privacy, this kind of feeling of like, this is an enclosed area.
Special thing.
But we walked out there last year. It's all gone. It's barren.
Yeah, it is.
They were trying to prevent flooding or some shit, and then they ended up flooding it more.
That's because they put all the trees on the left hand side by the very condensate, we said, they took all the trees out of last year. 100-year-old trees, you're saying they hold a couple hundred litres each, do you know?
And they're trying to get rid of. They're trying to stop rivers overflowing by getting rid of trees.
Yeah.
The Tipperary council, by getting rid of trees, like trees taking water, like it's absolutely madness. Like it's.
But like whatever, I think the sense I get from farmers is they don't. There doesn't seem to be that appreciation for the hedge. Maybe because I know the field is what's important for them. It's kind of
we can't paint them all with some.
No.
There are some farmers that are very knowledgeable and very aware and doing their best for what they can. There's other farmers then that will soak the soil in glyphosate and every chemical known and think they're doing a great job. Even if it's going to their own water supply, they think they're doing a great plan, and they wonder why the neighbours do it.
And that's the thing. None of them have any bad intentions. They're just kind of clueless.
Hey, they're all the hell with good intentions.
Yeah.
You know.
I was gonna like the likes of Joe, like kind of all the heads that be out at like Cabra Wetlands. I went there once and for the first time I was blown away. I was always like, I'd love if like there'd be a group and I was thinking this for a while. There'd be a group in Thurles that would like kind of where there'd be like a kind of older generations talking about all this stuff about the lay of the land, so that we can learn it. And they do once a month.
That's funny enough you said it. Like, I was on to Michael Bow. There was last week or the week, I think the week before. I was talking to Sinead Carpenter, you know Sinead, she does the horticulture courses over in the college.
Okay, yeah.
And Michael said, oh, if you want the very back there, at the back of Bows, out past there's a few apple trees and that, and he said, I'd like to do something with James, out plots and gardens. I think Joe Bloom.
He had farm out.
He had, but I mean, he's out in Bursley and he does logistics and he's always kind of running his own show up there, but he says, he's going to be setting up something there. And I'll probably get a few experienced gardeners from the wetlands, like Jimmy Mahoney, one of them. Very good gardener there as well. Like, I mean, he can grow sweet corn in Ireland, like outdoor. It's delicious corn to cob, like. You know, I wouldn't like it, but his is creme de la creme.
Yeah.
But he's got this sort of thing there, and I think there'll be limited space out there. So, but there'll be a bit of work. They'll tidy up for us. We're not doing it in the winter when everything dies off, as opposed to 7 foot high of vegetation and so forth. And
it's the best way to learn, especially those kind of types of people. Learning will learn more, and those types of people would prefer teaching it that way.
That's just very same as the beekeepers. And I think with the 1400s before, 1400s in Ireland, that was more common on your dinner table or breakfast table than butter. Butter was butter was a novelty.
See, now
you had that, you had the liquid form, you spread that in your bread. On your toast or whatever, only the very, very wealthy had butter, because you ever seen that they make it with the cream or the sour milk and having to mix it around. That's hardship.
Butter and sugar problems.
But if you go back to your grandfathers, your granduncles, I can assure you, someone in your lineage kept these. Unfortunately, over the last 50 to 100 years, we've kind of lost. Well, everything being mass produced, it's coming in the shelf.
We've lost a lot of kind of.
We've lost that knowledge.
Foods.
Yeah,
it's the knowledge. Yeah, that's the thing.
Knowledge.
It's the knowledge I had to worry about losing. Not that I do take. Obviously, there's ways to learn. It's obviously really hard to get. But I think people should be really focused on not losing the knowledge.
Yeah, that's it.
We're going to lose some things, but just if we keep the knowledge, it doesn't matter if we lose it. We can get it back. Like
that's correct. Like.
And like why I'm saying those people as well. Like when I was out there, I was blown away. Like they were telling you, like all the different types of butterfly, and they'll tell you what. Every type of butterfly has its own favourite flower, like,
that's right,
and they know everything. Like, and I was like, we need to learn this, like passing it on to the generation. So doing things like you're on about across your boys and stuff like that would probably be the best way to learn it.
The other thing about it as well is, sure, look, we turn on futures, spuds, onions. They're quite simple. That's
they do their own thing. Like,
even if you get a builder's line, like a lace or a builder's line, you build a line, you do your drills every couple of inches apart, every 8 inches, so you maximise what you have there. You might get a polytunnel tinted or whatever, but if you were a couple of heads in there with veg and they say, look, you grow the onions, I grow spuds, I'll try something exotic as well, but I would try something. So you come July or something like that, or this time we have a harvest festival. Those
a pool of knowledge.
There'll be a hive or two there, a bit of honey, a bit of whatever, musicians and a few beers,
Yeah, I 100%, me and you were talking, like you, not you, you not you. We were talking about just localism is absolutely coming back like on a strength that isn't really that it's coming back strong, and it's like not really that prevalent now because there's obviously a lot of like industries are still on top, but it's coming back, like people and it's actually the younger generation. Surprisingly, everyone's saying like, oh, they're all buying online or not. I don't think it is the case now, but I know more like kind of my parents' age, stuff like that, who buy stuff online, whereas like younger people are starting to think it's cool to go to cafes again, local cafes, all this crack. I do think localism's coming back.
The free Wi-Fi helps.
Yeah. You have free Wi-Fi on your garden. You get free Wi-Fi learning about the butterflies. That's how you do it. Like.
No, if you're stuck in your hometown as a young person, you kind of have to learn to enjoy those things.
Yeah.
I heard about the red apple. That's one of the butterflies.
That's right.
The common lad.
Yeah.
And he leaves Morocco, and maybe 8 generations later, like the first guy would leave Morocco in January or February, and then he gets as far as southern Spain, and then his heir goes from southern to northern Spain, and his heir goes from northern Spain to France.
That's what they all got that side. That's right, yeah.
I just thought that
it's
was
amazing.
magnificent.
Wow. That's mad.
So they go from Morocco to Scotland and then back down again. Over like, 6 generations or 8 generations.
Well, they all actually came from that area anyway, what's called Atlas Mountains.
Sounds expensive.
In Morocco. I think that's where a lot of them originate from, the Atlas Mountains in Morocco.
Right, yeah.
It's nearly paradise, I know it's right, but there were not vegetation, herbs and wildlife there. And it was far more shocking.
Yeah.
10,000 years ago when that ice age was receding, that's when they initially came across it, because they were covered their sheet ice about 20,000 years ago.
Just what the whole burn is from.
Yeah.
I only found out that the burn is because of the way it forms.
The ice age. The glacier pulls like that.
Mad, like.
What seems so flimsy, the butterfly? Like it can fly so perfectly.
Aerodynamics.
It gets up that morning and it
into winds that are seeing boats like.
Yeah, this is it.
I always
This kind of.
butterflies pure, just mesmerizing. I just the idea of it, I don't know, it's like, because like when you look into flight and how airplanes work, like a lot of the I think most of the theories that have been put forward for why an airplane flies have been disproved, like lift under the wings and stuff. That's not necessarily. That's not fully true. They can't actually prove why flight works. But they know if they do these.
We don't know how it's
they know if they do these steps it'll work, but they can't find the exact science behind it. But to me, it's really odd that you can just get like this animal that disappears like into a cocoon, and suddenly it's a butterfly that can fly perfectly. And scientists will keep trying to throw theories on how we've managed to learn how to fly and can't find the answer. And then the butterfly does it like that.
Doesn't even have a lesson. It's not flies.
I'll never stop being amazed by that.
Maybe, but so they probably do the same thing. The butterflies don't know. We don't know why we fly. Butterflies don't know why they fly. Nobody knows why anyone's flying, but we're flying. Good job, team. Is this true? I read while researching. It's probably true, but just it was that some plants let off kind of like a caffeine substance to get bees to keep coming back, so they kind of get addicted to it. It might have been caffeine, but some sort of substance.
Oh, they would, of course. Yeah. Each plant, even last year, was exceptional to the heat we had. A lot of plants were heat stressed, but other ones that normally wouldn't produce flowers or flowers in abundance did.
Right.
Every plant secretes nectar at different temperatures, depending on what time of year it is and depending on what plant it is. So there's ones last year, a lot of things like the whitethorn, which is the hawthorn. Only partially flowered last year because it came straight from a continental winter to a continental summer. There was no spring. It was bang, one honey streak to the next.
Yeah, it was.
We got copious amounts of honey last year. It was amazing. Very good for the beekeepers. Well, the summer was, the winter was hard. But they will admit it. There was a new study released as well actually that certain plants, I can't believe where I read it now, it was from the college or university stateside, but a certain plant anyway, when they had a hum, a recording of bees humming, buzzing and brought up to the flower itself, it secreted more nectar. Because it tossed,
That's great.
Yeah.
That's like cabbages talking to each other.
That's mad, like fuck.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, and there's lots of other ones then that will emit, not so much here, but you see it in the National Geographic that they emit a pungent foul smell to keep away everything.
Yeah.
There's also other things there. Certain plants will go next to other ones because the other ones are going to be victimised by flies and everything else. So that's it. Right? He's getting meat, kind of say.
Getting in off that. Yeah. Recycling kind of like. It's good. It's bad stuff.
It's marvellous.
It's like the Irish. Your neighbour getting evicted. You're like, I'm alright, Jack.
Yeah.
Rather you than me.
Out peeking out the window, having a look like, oh, it's their time. Getting off those sandwiches. Wasn't it? Yeah, did you notice this year I found there was way more wildflowers than I've ever seen in my life around Ireland. Like just driving by, like even more ways and stuff like that. I've seen more colours in Ireland this summer than I have ever.
That's a lot to do with it. There's a pollinating plant.
Yeah, they've been doing it on purpose.
They have been doing it on purpose. They're a lot more wary of it. Like, I mean, you see them on the motorways, provided it's not, like, I mean, they'll mow the first couple of metres, provided it's impeding view or on the curb. They leave the top a bit because there's wildflowers in there. Now, there's not a whole lot, but they're starting to plant them.
Well,
a lot more. One of the greatest things they've done in Port Down Balloon, so it wasn't delivered. But if you look at roundabout, look at plants sticking out there now. We can actually, if you look across the road there, 2 baskets hanging, the one on the right hand side there, there's header in that anyway, I can see it. But probably bought it a little bit, I think they're selling it next week. But that particular header is originally from South Africa, Southern Hemisphere, so that's why it flowers in February, March. As opposed to summer months, because that's what's.
So if you bring plants from other places, they'll keep their. Will they ever change?
Thousands, 100 years ago it came like, but and there's quite a large genes on like, but it flowers that time of year. Like for the dandelion is always the first bit of food the bee will get when he comes out in late February, March. But we have a lot of those. You go up to the train station, and they're quite available in roundabouts. They're perennial, so once you plant them, you don't have to look after them. pH of the soil is correct. But it's a great source of nectar and pollen for the bees in February. Like if you had 12 degrees in February, there's nothing else out there for them. I mean, there's nothing else to be hauled over in front of the house. You watch it, mesmerising. You sit down there and you go home on it. They're foraging all over. Yeah.
That's plastic.
It's a great thing. You can see it in every roundabout in the country almost has it, I think now. And it wasn't designed for a pollinating plant. It was designed because it's an attractive plant. Once it's down, you can leave it alone. But as it happens, it's quite beneficial.
Yeah.
So there is a lot more wildflowers on roads and on.
Well, there's starting to come back. I mean, even the likes of Lidl and Aldi's are doing plants specifically for pollinators.
One of the girls out there in Cabaret as well, they did a day, and she was explaining how it was done. So they have a big wildflower meadow there. So you just trim once a year a grassland, trim it, rake it off, leave it. That's the procedure.
Yeah.
That's the complicated procedure. Trim it off, rake it off, leave it there.
Yeah. If you want to cut that 10 times that weed, good luck, you can do it yourself, like, but it's needless work, it's needless hardship.
Yeah, so that sounds excellent.
Yeah.
So it should be done.
I think we're going to finish up here. Got a good solid hour. I think we just end up. I just kind of feel like this conversation we're definitely going to be able to just stay going. So
Somebody has to stop.
We're already. But I'm gonna do the word of the day. Word of the day is latte. You know, like coffee latte. Is the Italian for you pay too much for your coffee. It's obviously not true. It's a shit joke. It's one of those like shit jokes that you'd see kind of like if you look up shit jokes in Google. It's the first one that comes up. So gonna do like an outro. Just if any local businesses would like to sponsor our podcast, actually, I'm not gonna pretend I'm not reading this because I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm gonna read this. I'm not gonna act like it's natural. It's not natural. I wrote all this out. If any local businesses would like to sponsor our podcast, it would be highly appreciated. Although we don't, I feel like I'm reading a script in the church or something.
No, it sounds like you're reading an apology.
Yeah.
What I did was extremely dreadful. I am ashamed.
Although we don't.
Do not have sexual relations.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Read your apology.
No, I'm not gonna read it. I can do it without. So basically we're looking for sponsors to be able to help with our kind of production value. We're not trying to make any money off this, but we'd like to be able to pay the people putting in the main work, which is like our editors and videographers, Owen and Brendan. So we'd like to be able to pay them. At the beginning, like we don't have a big audience right now, but anyone that can help us out in the start, we'll always remember you. When we get there and we have a big audience, we'll remember our first sponsors, even when Ryan Tubridy's calling us and we're like, fuck off. That's when we still remember you. So basically, to the sponsors, if you anyone supports us now, we'll remember you.
Don't get a TV license, give it to us.
Yeah. No, we do want to do great things with this and want to create a platform, spread hopefully all over Ireland where we can like spread positive stuff like information, bees like that. So to do it consistently, we're going to have to be able to pay our videographer and editors. So if anyone can help, we will promote your business. For local right now. As we grow, obviously the area will grow for what's suitable to promote. But anyone in Thurles right now wants to help us out, we will help you out. And Ryan Tubridy, you're never coming on the show. That's it. We'll see you next week for episode 6, where we'll have someone else. See ya. Yeah, sound is good.
All about it,
That one you do, I'm fucking.